phones, Babylons can't crack the
2020. What a year it has been. We had a pandemic where everyone was told to stay home, the presidential election, and all the drama that has been with it. And of course, can't forget World War III almost starting up apparently, and all the memes around it in the beginning of 2020 when it actually literally just started. And the thing that caps off 2020 to make it the most 2020 year ever is the Cleveland Browns making the playoffs. Now, yes, you might be looking at the Cleveland Browns roster and talking about, well, look at it, they're supposed to make the playoffs. Are you kidding me? But if you look at the Browns' history of when they pretty much became a new expansion team in the NFL in 1999, because the old Browns are not the current Browns. The old Browns are really in Baltimore as the Ravens, if you really look at it, because they technically moved to Baltimore. And not only that, the new Browns have predominantly sucked since 1999 and have just had a lot of failures and have only been to the playoffs once, which was in 2002, and in 2020, they're back in the playoffs, and they've had their best season yet since coming back to the NFL in 1999 by going 11-5. And something else that you got to think about with this Browns team and this organization itself is that they've lost a lot, and in 2017, just a few seasons ago, they literally went 0-16. I mean, to go from a team that went 0-16 in 2017 to 7-8-1 in 2018 in just one season itself is pretty remarkable. And then in 2019, just being one of the more disappointing teams in the NFL, just not playing very good football and going 6-10. And then in 2020, the weirdest year of them all, and definitely one of the more weirder NFL seasons in NFL history, to go 11-5 and make the playoffs for the first time since 2002, it's pretty remarkable. Now that I've given you a little bit of a background on the Cleveland Browns and a little bit of their history, not going too much in depth, just kind of telling you that a lot of their time since coming back to the NFL in 1999 has been a bunch of losing, especially in 2017 when they didn't even win a game. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about their quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and just bringing up about how underappreciated he really is in the NFL. Of course, as many of you may know, Baker Mayfield was the #1 overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft to the Cleveland Browns after they went 0-16. And this is a Cleveland Browns organization that obviously just came off an 0-16 season and has only won one game in 2 seasons with Hugh Jackson, and it was just a big dumpster fire. Everything was bad. They were the worst team in the NFL. Nothing seemed right at all, and nothing seemed very bright for the future at all. So they got a quarterback that could possibly change it for them, that was an amazing player at the University of Oklahoma, a Heisman winner, has a great story, brings charisma to the field, used to be a walk-on, kind of has that cocky attitude, but backed it up with his game. Another thing about this Cleveland Browns organization that drafted Baker Mayfield is that since they came back to the NFL in 1999, they have severely struggled at the quarterback position, and they've had 20-plus quarterbacks that have been starting for them since 1999. And that's the highest in the NFL since 1999. And another thing is, they haven't really been able to keep a quarterback as a starter. The last one that was tenured the longest was Tim Couch, who started 4 seasons for the Browns, and he was very forgettable and was not the best quarterback of all time, just like many other Browns quarterbacks that followed suit. In Baker Mayfield's rookie season, he would help bring the Cleveland Browns fan base that was in utter pain and misery in the Hugh Jackson era, coming off an 0-16 season, and make their lives just a little better. Now, he would only appear in 14 games, and he started in 13 of them, going 6-7 as a starting quarterback in his rookie season, completing 64% of his passes, throwing for 3,725 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. And not only that, in that same 2018 season, he would bring a lot of hope to the Browns fan base, as he had the most touchdowns thrown in a rookie season, surpassing Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson with 27 touchdowns, which, as of the recording of this video, has been passed recently by rookie Justin Herbert, quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers. And going into the 2019 NFL season, the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield were expected to make a huge jump in their games and were expected to make the playoffs, and Baker Mayfield was expected to have a strong second season in the NFL. But just like many other NFL rookies have, he had a sophomore slump. Baker Mayfield would appear in 16 games and start in all 16 games for the Browns, but they were disappointing. They went 6-10, and Baker Mayfield did not have that good of a season, only completing 59% of his passes, thrown for 3,827 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. Going into the 2020 NFL season, Baker Mayfield was under a lot of fire for how he played in 2019, not living up to any expectations at all, and honestly, looking like his game was declining, and even some labeling him as a bust already, even though in my opinion, that's way too early to label someone as a bust in their second season. And going into the 2020 NFL season, it was a make it or break it season for him and the Cleveland Browns as a team. They had the roster that could make the playoffs, but it was up to him to help lead them to that playoffs. And he did not disappoint in the 2020 NFL season. He threw for 3,563 yards, completing 63% of his passes, 26 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. And not only that, in the 16 games he appeared and played in, he led them to an 11-5 record and their first ever playoff appearance since 2002. Many people wrote off Baker Mayfield in the beginning of the 2020 NFL season, saying we would never see the flashes again that he showed in his rookie season and what he showed at the University of Oklahoma while he was there. But the thing is, Baker Mayfield thrives as an underdog. He made his whole career in football as an underdog, especially in college and now in the NFL. He's played very well this season, and he's helped lead the Cleveland Browns, a losing organization, an organization that just has failure upon failure, especially at the quarterback position, to their first ever playoff appearance since 2002, an 11-5 record in a very tough division. They had teams go to the playoffs such as them and the Ravens and the Steelers. The Cleveland Browns are set to play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh in the wild card round, and I'll be honest, I do have the Steelers winning this game. It's hard to win them in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are actually going to have all their players this time versus the Browns, and not only that, it's hard to beat the same team back-to-back games, and I just do not see the Browns beating them in round one, especially with all the experience on the playoff level that the Pittsburgh Steelers do have, and how the Steelers do have a top defense in the NFL. But that should not distract you from what the Browns accomplished. This is their first time going to the playoffs since 2002, and whether they win or lose, just making the playoffs is just a huge accomplishment itself. Well guys, if you guys liked the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly, out!